Hey everyone, Ruben here with Flying G Ranch. So we've been getting a decent amount of rain here the last couple days, which is really good because things have been very dry, especially for this early in the year. And people have been worried, and they've been praying for rain. But it got me thinking about whether we're doing our part to make the most out of the rain that we do get. And that makes me think about soil. Soil is made up of living organisms, and the more living organisms that are in the soil, the healthier it is. And those living organisms are referred to as organic matter. And the more organic matter that's in the soil, the more water holding capacity it has. Less organic matter, fewer living organisms, the less healthy the soil is. And much of the soil around here has very little organic matter. It's basically dead, and it's just dirt. And that's from years of overuse and abuse. So think of dirt or dead soil as an old crusty sponge that's dried up and is all hard, right? We've all got a couple of those kicking around the kitchen somewhere. But when you pour water on that old crusty sponge, it just runs off instead of being absorbed by the sponge like it's supposed to be. And that's exactly like dead soil. That's just dirt. It has very little ability to absorb and retain water. So it really doesn't matter how much rain we get, it all just runs off. Healthy soil, on the other hand, with lots of living organisms, is like a new sponge that soaks up the water and has the ability to hold on to a lot of it. So what do we do about dirt, dead soil? Well, if you can increase the organic matter in your soil by just 1%, you increase the soil's water holding capacity by 20 to 24,000 gallons per acre. That's phenomenal. On a quarter of land, 160 acres, that's equal to 3.2 million gallons of water being retained as opposed to just running off. Just 1%. That's life-changing. In this current rainfall, we've had approximately 20 millimeters of rain in the last 24 hours. And so that's equal to just over 21,000 gallons of water per acre. And that's just over 3.3 million gallons of water per quarter section. Okay, so imagine, just by increasing our soil organic matter by 1%, we could hold on to every drop of rain that fell on our land in the last 24 hours. And like I said before, that would be life-changing. So what is it that kills living organisms in the soil, that reduces the organic matter? Well, there's a number of things. Things that are common in agricultural practices, like tilling the land, leaving the soil bare. Chemical fertilizers, the use of herbicides and pesticides and pharmaceuticals that are given to livestock. And it's not just ag, like you city folk are guilty of this too. How many of you fertilize your lawn and use weed killer, right? So what is it? What increases soil organic matter? The amount of living organisms in the soil. Well, not doing any of those things that I just mentioned. But more importantly, practices like feeding hay out on your pastures in the wintertime, bale grazing, and in the summer, well-managed livestock grazing on grass. Ruminants grazing grassland stimulates growth and increases the carbon sequestration process, which increases the life in the soil. The more carbon in the soil, the more life there is. There's a lot more to talk about on this topic, but we'll save that for another video. For now, I'll leave you with this challenge. The next time things dry up and you start praying for rain, ask yourself, at the very least, ask yourself if you're doing your part to steward the land appropriately, and are you implementing practices that increase the life in the soil, better equipping it to absorb and retain the little moisture that we do get? Or are you continuing with land management practices that kill the soil, turn our grasslands into deserts, and perpetuate this reliance on chemical inputs that ultimately only lines the pockets of the global elites that many of you claim you want freedom from? Cheers.